because of the limitation we have on time, we want to talk about who will stand in the gap. You need to understand, as a man, as a woman, as a mother, there is a gap between the family. There is a gap between the divinity and the invisible. There are gaps in every life. There are gaps in every family. There are gaps in every community. And when those gaps is not filled, when those gaps is left vacant, the enemy will confidently be passing and walking through those gaps. So the Lord is saying this morning, who will stand on the gap? Who will stand in the gap of your family? Who will stand in the gap of your family? Who will stand in the gap of your children? Who will stand in for you? Who will stand in for the church of God? Who will stand in for the community? Because when the enemy want to use or want to manipulate a life or want to manipulate a family, and if somebody is not standing on the gap, the enemy will enter freely and operate in the life of people. So you must understand there is a gap that must be filled by someone. And that's why every family must have someone that pray, because it is only a prayer man, a prayer woman can stand on the gap. You can stand for your family. You can stand for your children. You can stand for your community. You can stand for your neighbor, depending on the amount of stability and stamina you have in the place of prayer. So this morning, who will stand for the gap? Who will stand for your family? Who will stand for God? There are times when the enemy want to kill somebody, God will be looking for someone that will stand. And the Bible says, God will find no one. When the enemy want to operate and there is nobody that is praying, he will walk through, he will walk freely and manipulate the destinies of people. So there's a need for you to rise to stand on the gap. When someone has a gap, for example, if robbers want to operate in a particular house or in a particular compound, if there is a guide, if there is a security, those armed robbers will not be penetrated confidently. They have to look for other means. But when these robbers want to rob the compound and there is no security, there is no guide, there is no watchman, the armed robber will freely walk inside the compound and mess in the life of people. So the same way, if there is no one that is standing in the gap for a family, when the enemy want to operate, when the witchcraft want to operate, they will enter and operate, and nobody will interrupt them. So this morning, God is saying, who is standing in the gap? Who is standing in the gap? If you read Exodus chapter 32, you discover when the enemy, when the children of Israel begin to sin against God, God said, I will destroy these people. It was Moses that standing for Israel. Moses said to God, you can't destroy these people. You can't destroy them. I want to stand for them. So Moses standing for God, for the children of Israel. And God said, because you stand for them, I will not destroy them. When God wants to do something, when the enemy wants to do something, if there's nobody standing on the gap, it will go free. It will work perfectly. The plans of enemy will go smoothly because no one is standing on the gap. So Moses standing on the gap for the children of Israel. When the children of Israel sin against God, God said, I will destroy them. And Moses said, Father, don't destroy them. I came to defend them. I came to intercede for them. So Moses intercede on the behalf of the children of Israel. And God said, I will not destroy them. When the enemy want to destroy your children, you can stand for them. When they want to destroy your business, you can stand for your business. When the enemy want to destroy community, you can stand for community. When the enemy want to destroy a family, you can stand for that family. That is the work of an intercessor. That's the work of a prayer warrior. When the enemy want to strike, you stand on the gap. You say, this cannot happen. You can't do this. You can't do that. So Moses stand for God, for the children of Israel. And God did not destroy them. Even though God has concluded that he's going to destroy them. But when he saw that Moses stood his ground, he could not destroy the children of Israel. So God is saying, who will stand for God? In your family, God is looking for someone who will stand in the gap. In your business, God is looking for someone who will stand on the gap. In the life of your mother, in the life of your children, in the life of your brother, God is looking for somebody that will stand on the gap. If there is no one standing on the gap, the enemy will mess up everyone in the family. The Lord will do mighty things through these teachings this morning in the name of Jesus. Amen. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 16. Who will stand on the gap? God is looking for a man. God is looking for a woman who will stand in the gap. Who will say to this mountain, you must not stay. Who will say to this problem, you must not happen. Who will say to witches and wizards, you cannot destroy my children. You cannot destroy my family. You cannot destroy the community. God is looking for somebody who will stand on the gap. Isaiah chapter 56, 59, verse 16. Who will stand on the gap? Who will stand on the gap? Isaiah chapter 59, verse 16. The Bible says, and he saw that there was no man, and wonder there was no intercessor. There was no intercession. God saw there was no man. When the enemy wanted to destroy the people of Israel, and God wanted to intervene, God came down, God looked from heaven and looked at the people. He said there was no man. There was no man. And he wondered there was no intercessor. When the enemy wants to strike, God will look for a prayer warrior. God will look for a woman that can pray. God will be looking for a man that will stand on the gap. The Bible says, God looked and did not saw anyone. No one is praying. The community is not praying. The neighbor is not praying. The church is not praying. Everywhere is empty. When God looked in heaven and saw and looked at the afflictions of the people, if you study Isaiah 59, you discover it was a time that Israel was oppressed. They were oppressed by the enemy. And God expected someone to rise and stand on the gap. God looked from heaven and said, I saw no man. There was nobody praying. When there's nobody praying in the family, it is a zero for the community, for a family. When nobody is praying in the community, it is a zero. When nobody is praying in the family, it is a zero. God looked from heaven. I saw there is nobody. Nobody is praying. Pastor is not praying. Member of the church is not praying. The community is not praying. Family is not praying. And that is why the enemy is messing up with the children of people. That's why the enemy is taking advantage of the cup that is empty. God looked from heaven to see someone that will stand and say, like Moses, you must not destroy them. The Bible says at this time, God looked and there was no man. There was no woman. Everybody is sleeping. Everybody is going about their business. Why the enemy is destroying the destiny of people? Why the enemy is destroying the life of the children of God? And they were busy doing their things. And the enemy was messing up with the children of God. The Bible says, I saw there was no man. And he wondered there was no intercessor. There was no prayer warrior. There was nobody praying. Everybody is sleeping. Everybody is going about doing their business. No prayer warrior. No intercessor. And the enemy continued to mess up the life of the children of God. You must understand that God will not do anything to your family. God will not do anything for community. God will not do anything for any family until somebody started praying. Without prayer, God will do nothing. Because it is the prayer that invites God. If you don't invite a guest, he will not come to your house. So it is prayer. When God wants to intervene, God saw there was nobody. Nobody is calling upon him. And that's why the Bible says, call upon me in the days of trouble, I will answer you. If you don't call upon God, God will not come. Because God cannot come uninvited. God, when God wants to save these people at this time, they discover there was nobody praying. Nobody is praying. Everybody is busy doing their activities as if nothing is happening. People are dying in the community, nobody is praying. People are being affected by the witchcraft and wizard, nobody is praying. In the family, destinies have been changed, nobody is praying. There is a gap that is empty. God saw it, and God said, there's nothing I can do. Nobody is in the gap. Nobody is praying. Nobody is praying. So when nobody is praying in the family, God will just be looking at you. So this morning, God is looking for a man. God is looking for a woman who will stand in the place of prayer, who will stand for the children, who will stand for the community, who will stand for the family and say, enough is enough. The witchcraft activities, it is enough. The spell of wizard is enough. All the occultic practice, this is not the plans of God. You can't continue. So God is looking for a man who will stand on the gap. Who will stand on the gap. So prayer is the only thing that invites God. If nobody is praying, something will continue to go wrong. God is looking for intercessor. God is looking for prayer warrior. God is looking for gap filler. Those who will fill the gap. Who will stand in the gap for family. Who will stand in the gap for community. Who will stand in the gap for church. Who will stand in the gap for the life of our children. When nobody is in the gap, the enemy will continue to control and to dominate in the life of people. You can't do anything. Until somebody stand on the gap, family, children, their destiny will keep on being twisted and manipulated by the activities of witchcraft, by the activities of foul spirit, by the activities of the familiar spirit. You need to understand that gap filler are intercessor. So God is looking for an intercessor. God is looking for someone who is standing in the gap. Take a decision to stand on the gap. Stand on the gap for your family. Stand on the gap for your children. Stand on the gap for your mother. Stand on the gap for your father. And say enough is enough. It is enough. You must understand, when nobody is in the gap, the enemy will walk freely to control your family. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 30. God is looking for a man that can pray, a woman that can pray. Until a man rises, until a woman rises to pray, to fill the gap in the family, enemy will continue to manipulate that family, because you must understand there is a gap between humanity and divinity. And when the enemy want to go pass through, they must pass through that gap. They must pass through that gap. That is the gap in the realm of the spirit. Someone must fill that gap. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 28 to 30. For people understand, or let's read from verse 29 to 30. The people of the land, they have used oppression and exercised robbery and have vexed the poor and needy. They have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. You need to understand, when God begins to come to speak in this manner, is when God sees the affliction. God have seen your affliction. God have seen the afflictions of our community. God have seen the afflictions of our neighbor. It is not the will of God that the children of God should be oppressed. Here, they were oppressed. They were oppressed. They exercised robbery. They oppressed the poor. They oppressed the needy. They oppressed the children of God. And when God see the oppressed, just like in every family that is going through oppressions of enemy, God is looking from heaven. So when God see the oppressor in the life of children, when God see the problem in your family, in the life of your children, he will look from heaven. And when he look, he see the oppressor. He's looking for an intercessor. He's looking for someone that is down in the gap. Because God needs somebody to work with. In this planet, God is looking for an agent. When God see affliction, he's looking for somebody that will stand so that he can speak to that man. So that's how God operates. Now, they were oppressing them. The Bible says the people of the land, they were used to oppress. They used to oppress them. They exercised robbery, and they oppressed the poor and the needy. They oppressed them wrongful. And the Bible says when God looked from heaven, in verse 30, he said, I sought for a man among them. I sought for a woman among them. I sought for a man among them that's to make up the hedge and stand in the gap before me for the land, that I should not destroy them. And I found none. When God saw the oppression, the activities that the enemy are oppressing the children of God, God looked from heaven and God see their cry. God hear their weeping, but it's not enough to weep. It's not enough to cry to God. When God came down to help you, will he find you standing on the gap? So God came down. The Bible says God sought for a man. God was looking for a man that will rise up in the midst of oppression, in the midst of those suffering, that will rise up and say, enough is enough. And Bible says, I sought for a man among them, and there was nobody. I sought for a man that will make up a hedge, that will stand in the gap before me for the land. So God is looking for a man, a woman, that will stand on the gap in the place of prayer. in the place of intercessor. A man that will pray and say enough is enough. When God wants to do something, when the enemy wants to destroy our children, and there is nobody standing on the gap, it will be easier for them. God will say, nobody is in the gap. It's not my fault. The things you are passing through is not the fault of God. The things your children are passing through is not from God. It's because nobody is in the gap. Nobody is praying. The pastor is not praying. The reverend is not praying. The member of church is not praying. Everyone is not praying. And the enemy is going freely and oppressing the children of God. God is looking for a man. Until a man rises, nothing will happen. Until God sees somebody that will rise up in the place of prayer, nothing will change. He said, I sought for a man that will make up a hedge, a man that will stand on the gap to pray and break the presence of the enemy. And he sees no more. He sees no one. I sought for a man, and there was no man. I sought for a woman, and there was no woman. When the enemy changed the destiny of your children, God saw from heaven to see your reaction, and you are doing nothing. God can do nothing. When you are not doing anything concerning the situation you are going through, when you are not doing anything concerning the problems of your children, concerning the problems of your family, God cannot do anything until you rise up and say, God, enough is enough. So God look, and there's nobody standing on the gap. So God is looking for someone who will stand on the gap for the family, who will stand in the gap for the church, who will stand in the gap for the family. You must understand the reason why someone must be in the gap. It is because when the enemy is coming, God will show you that the enemy is coming, and you will rise up to pray. When the enemy wants to destroy community, God will show you that something wants to happen to a particular person or in the community. You will rise up to stand in the gap and say, enough is enough. There are times when God will reveal secretly to me, I'll begin to pray and say, God, this cannot happen. This cannot happen. So God is looking for a man. He will give vision. He will give revelation. When something wants to go wrong in your family, there is nobody that is in the gap. Nothing God can do. God is looking for somebody. In every family, there must be somebody that will rise to fill that gap. So God is looking for a prayer warrior, a prayer man, a prayer woman, an intercessor, a gap filler, someone who is standing for a gap. You must understand that when we talk about gap filler, someone that's standing in the gap, we are talking about watchman. They are watchmen. The prayer warriors are called watchmen because they are the people who will stand to watch and to see when the enemy is coming, and they will rise up to pray. When you are praying, when God wants to do something, He will speak to you. When the enemy wants to do something, God will reveal to you, and you will rise up to pray. So God is looking for a man. God is looking for a watchman that can stay and see when the enemy is coming. In Isaiah chapter 61, verse 6 and 7, Isaiah 61, who will stand in the place of prayer, who will stand in the gap for a family, who will stand in the gap for your children, so that when the enemy wants to destroy them, you will stand and say, enough is enough. Isaiah chapter 61, verse 6 and 7. I have set a watchman upon thy wall, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day and night. Day and night, ye that make mention of the Lord, keep not silent. For I give him no rest, till he establish and make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. The Bible says, I have set a watchman. A prayer warrior is a watchman. A watchman, for some of you that don't understand what watchman is, watchman is a prayer warrior. Watchman is an intercessor. When the enemy is coming, when you see physical watchman, how they operate, the watchmen are people who will stand on the top of the roof. For example, if you go to military checkpoint or barrack, you discover there are people who will stand on the top of the house. Their job is to watch when the enemy are coming. So before enemy could come close to the camp, they will see the enemy far, and they will rise up to defend themselves. So these are the attributes and the character of a watchman. A watchman is somebody who will always be in the place of prayer. You pray in the morning, you pray in the afternoon, you pray in the night, you pray in the midnight. That is a watchman. When the enemy is coming, when God wants to speak to you, he will speak to you in the place of prayer. God will tell you, someone wants to destroy the family. Someone wants to destroy the community. You will rise up to pray. So God said, I have sent a watchman who will never hold their peace. You will never hold your peace. You must pray day and night. The Bible says, you who make mention of the Lord, give him no rest. There is no holiday in the realm of the spirit. Pray in the morning, pray in the afternoon, pray in the night, pray in the midnight. There is no holiday. He said, give him no rest. God is not interested in holiday. There is no holiday in the realm of the spirit. He said, give him no rest until he establish, until God totally deliver you, deliver your family. He said, give him no rest. God is not interested in holiday. There is no holiday in the realm of the spirit. So this morning, God is looking for a man, a woman who will stand in the place of prayer. Remember that God cannot do anything for you. God cannot do anything to your children until someone rises and starts in the place of prayer and standing in the place of prayer. This is the one-on-one with Jesus. We don't have time to go further, but we must understand it until someone stands in the gap. Something will continue to go wrong. Nothing will change until somebody rises. And that's why there is a need for you to rise in the place of prayer. God is looking for a gap filler. God is looking for a prayer warrior. Those who will pray for their family, who will pray for community, who will pray for the church, who will pray for the body of Christ, who will pray for believer, who will pray for the neighborhood. God is looking for a man who will stand on the gap so that when the enemy wants to come, God will show you. Rise up on your feet. It is time to pray. It is time to pray. It is time to stand on the gap. This morning, begin to practice this thing you have heard. Stand on the gap for your children. Stand on the gap for your family. Stand on the gap for your children. Open your mouth and pray. This morning, I stand on the gap. I stand on the gap. I have made up my mind to stand on the gap for my family. I have made up my mind to stand on the gap for my children. To stand on the gap for my community. To stand on the gap for my neighbor. To stand on the gap for my people. For the members of the ministers of reconciliation. I have taken a decision to stand on the gap. To stand on the gap. God is looking for a man. God is looking for a woman who will stand on the gap. Who will stand on the gap for their brother. Who will stand on the gap for their children. Who will stand on the gap for their sister. Who will stand on the gap for their community. Who will stand on the gap for their family so that the enemy will not destroy them. When there is nobody that is standing on the gap, the enemy will mess up the life of the people. The enemy will mess up the life of the children. God is looking for a man who will stand on the gap that I will not destroy them. God is looking for a man. Moses is standing on the gap for the children of Israel. You must rise to stand on the gap for yourself. Stand on the gap for your family. Stand on the gap for the community. Stand on the gap for your children, for your sister, for your brother. Rise to stand on the gap. I sought for a man. I sought for a woman that will stand on the gap, and I found no one. God came down to see if there is somebody that is standing in the gap, and there is nobody in the gap. There is nobody in the gap. There is nobody in the gap. Everyone is going about their business. Why the enemy is busy destroying life, destroying destiny, destroying the plans of God in your life, destroying the plans of God in your family. God is looking for a man